So I want to, there's a lot I want to get through. No applause till the end, so I don't feel disappointed till the end. I'd like to thank Margaret Code and Sharon Goodyear for keeping the Art Bar alive, to thank the director Rob Welsh and the Art Bar team for inviting me to present this evening. And I was going to say the Renaissance Revival thing tomorrow, and then there's an afterword. Okay, dear audience, these poems that I am reading, rather than reciting, I may focus on the reading rather than the audience. Please grant me that poetic indulgence. Stanley and many others advised me to read more slowly, and I'll try once, but that's not the tempo that I hear. Whose voice is this? It's funny who speaks. The Cockney boy is not me. It's the memory of my teens, tithing my tongue to a person, and it's not me. I'm American Ashkenazi. Ashkenazi, my good Lord, a mortal enemy and nemesis branded onto our name, and I'm tripping down some Freudian and paranoid, satanically insignificant red herring. It's funny who speaks, it's never quite me. Whose voice is this? It's funny who speaks. The Cockney boy is not me. It's the memory of my teens tithing my tongue to a person, and it's not me. I'm American Ashkenazi. Ashkenazi, my good Lord, a mortal enemy, a nemesis branded onto our name. And I'm tripping down some red herring. It's funny who speaks. It's never quite me. Whose voice is this? Twilight sighs, reaching back towards our beginnings. The night wind breathes a hush upon our brow. The sun lies now behind our dreams, our winnings and our losings, balance in the thread from which the future flows. It is the bewitching hour. Wish upon it. I'm supposed to take those out as I proceed. Stick them on the back. The political poem, Reincarnation. In my last incarnation, I was a bleating sheep. I followed the sunshine gladly. I remember the journey to slaughter, stock car, stockyard, electric prod and stun gun. Oh, your humanity. Baba Black ain't coming back, waiting your curse, your knife, my life. Now in lamb chops. I was puzzled that in my room where I am surrounded by Buddhas and Hindu gods, there's no Jesus. I whirled round, then settled down and realized the thing is, you don't bow down to Jesus, you just open your heart and say love is an option. You don't bow down to love. You don't bow down to love, you open your heart. Love is an option, love is an option, love is an option, open the heart. Love is an option, love is an option, love is an option, open the heart. This poem's old, decades old, and I edited it last night as I was rehearsing. It changed. So this copy is precious, it's got. Consider the lilies. She said we come from the light, but I say we're molded from mud, and that explains all our inanities. We're pretty smart for beasts, but locusts perish. In Rat City it's dog eat dog, and whether we wake or not matters only a jot, because it's all already accomplished. God is evolved, mud into mind, mind into spirit, worlds without end. And we're vouchsafe in a flower. I don't see that the Creator is evident in his creation. I think, for the most part, this miraculous world once uttered in the Big Bang once uttered in the Big Bang, unfolds through quantum and Darwin. For the most part, the Creator hides as men spin lies, and the devil rides in our hearts along with the worriers and the warriors and the glad-eyed boys dancing with the kiss-me girls, so wanting to trust love. The Creator hides in the dolmen arch, hides in the graves and the grass, blades of Blake and Solomon and the tears of so many virgins. The Creator hides from our reproach, hides from our blush, hides in the open, a burning bush in the mind. Roots, the poem explained. I found myself in a nostalgic mood, thinking about some lost love, so listless and bored I wrote of the horde of faces that filled my life and vanished. Then I waxed dramatic, spouting how I'd striven with griefs and twists and briefed my soul to reach for simplicity and splendor, to search and set high goals and lead them high for the wind to bless. I thought again of the joy of seeing some dear face, of the fastness lent by love reflected, these things that tied me to the world, anchors, roots, these things that gave me substance, meaning. So I arrived at these lines, how I grieved to leave this marrying web, stepping once more through the open door, not turning my head as did Lot's wife to Salt, but standing beyond the doors which closed forever on forever, standing as Jesus walked on water before, I don't know, and I might never see your face again, my mother, father, lover, friends. Scattered spider thread. Untitled, This Side of Atlantis. This side of Atlantis we put on flesh, fleshed out the ego we so proudly wore, lighting the sky loud as God. Lucifer was a myth, a dream. He didn't exist in our great scheme unless he was in all of us. How surprised we were when the walls fell down. From the rubble of Atlantis we built the swastika. Oh, see the bright-starred iron wheel, my history, my industry, the threshing floor, pour chaff, pour wheat, the spirit seeps while trees grow, metal wings fly skyward, blue fire belching, dreams the stars, the heavens revolving, spitting sparks and crazy webbing. If you bound my people, Moloch, Mammon, tie them backwards, Auschwitz, Hemel, Hampstead, pour chaff, pour wheat, the spirit seeps, red and brown. Nimrod is building in glory. I read this to Mary Congo, who says, what's that all about? I says, the swastika. He says, how so? I says, Elijah lay down and saw the skies revolving, the firmament swirling, Sarah surrounding God, the feathered radiance of sphere within sphere, and sixfold wings beating over him. Far, 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 the soaring hub and universal fire, center, energy. This the ancient Vedics glyph, the swastika. But the godland kingdoms have built a working model of this god. It burnt the fields. Now we build in chrome, titanium, plasma fire. Now it hums. Before the war they built in tin and steel. Back then they worshipped the internal combustion engine. Flywheels singing, heat exchange, Gruyere-sleeved exhausts, stuttering exhaust, retorts, stuttering wheel of fire, the goblin's precious child. Oh, see the bright-starred iron wheel, my history, my industry, the threshing floor, pour chaff, pour wheat, the spirit seeps. While trees grow metal wings, fly skyward, blue fire belching, dreams the stars, the heavens revolving. If you bound my people, Mammon, Moloch, tied them backwards, Hemel, Hampstead, Auschwitz, pour chaff, pour wheat, the spirit seeps, red and brown. Nimrod is building in glory. See, he threads his bow. Ah, they got it wrong. Nimrod is building a glory. See, he raises his brow and threads his bow. Got to read, I can't recite. If we didn't hold on to our pain, we'd be like angels, we'd fly away. But I've cherished the dross, clung to my sadness so not to betray the sulky boy who won't forgive the petty things, the lack love and the little disappointments. I'm a snake consuming myself. With a fox gnaws its escape the trap, I've scratched my wounds to remain in finite regression. The landscape recedes, a Mobius strip through oblivion's womb, and if I wasn't so stuck up in my own ass, I'd be an angel, I'd fly away. How much time have I got?
How much time do you need?
Enough. All right. The serious poem then. Searchlights rack the valley of Jordan. There are times when our fates are in flow, myriad patterns merging, and moments when they lock, doors closing. I remember the day the last little phase jammed together 3 years under the bridge. We drove into the winter city to tie in with the Joneses, tires singing through the slush, car zooming down the 401. At the restaurant, my wife and Mr. Jones babbled, but I didn't speak, barely glanced at Mrs. Jones. We drove into the winter city, car zooming down the 401, a rabbit crossing the highway, halfway across, caught in our headlights, stopped and turns back into our path. History splintered, a million pieces, a legion of barbarians stalking us with yellow eyes, all our mistakes, lack of faith, the easy ways in and out, little murders, catastrophe is stalking us. Did you see the headlines? The freedom fighters have cut off the minister's head and troops line all the public buildings. And now my wife is leading my children away with her black widowed gaiety, her tinkling like shivering glass. I know it's late, it's very late, but should you find the heart, the words to change the world, cry loud banners, cry headlines. The rabbit's caught in the headlights and the future is deciding on us. The wiki says Nirvana Nibbana literally means blown out like a candle. Ni, out. Va, blow. Na, not, never, nor. Van, desire, love, win, possess, conquer, grasp, clench. Van, tree, thicket, quantity, wood. And va can mean weave. Gatti, gatti, gone, gone. Nirvana Nibbana. Wiki says Nirvana Nibbana means blown away like a candle's flame. Ni, out, without, away from. Va, blow as a wind, waft odor. Na, not, never, nor. Van, desire, love, grasp. Van, tree, thicket, quantity, wood. And va can mean weave. Gati, gati, paragati, parasangati, bodhiswaha. Nirvana Nibbana. Wiki says it's literally blown away like a candle. Ni, out, without, away. Va, blow as a wind. Na, not, never, nor. Van, desire, love, win, gain, procure, conquer, possess, grasp, clench. Van, tree, thicket, quantity, wood. Va, weave. Gatti, gatti, gone. Not too much more. One more. One or two more. Okay. On the website, you go to poetry. All this was this page that says gems question mark. Come on, gems. And then there's Beagle burning. Beagle comes, Beagle goes. Dry cedar burning. That's the afterword. I'm not going to have time for the afterword.
Would you permit a little applause at this point?
You mean I can't read
No,
the last...
would you permit a little applause for the Beagle?
Oh, for the Beagle, yes.
For the Beagle, that's
Applause for the Beagle.
it. One for the Beagle.
Back to burning. Okay, back. So all those come out of this book, and this one doesn't. This is new. Two more. In the weave of the world. This does not explain knowing, but does knowing exist in the possible, watching, willing in the weave of the world as it unfolds, so that we exist in the watching it happen, a quantum phase, forgive me. We watch it happen, watch with will, observing, acting, and without us, barren moonscape. In us, cultures, civilizations, academies, wars, rumors of wars. And by God, it is indeed quantum, how it came out of nothing in pixels of energy. Oh, our visual fields aren't really just pixels, they're patterned and smudged iterations of something that's happening somewhere sliding down time. So, knowing exists possibly in the waves and the fields of probability, watching, willing in the weave of the world.
There's a combined poem.
This is an applause for that. Don't you think that poem deserves a little applause?
Come clouds, now that we're ready, eclipse our two planned joy. Come clouds, now that we're ready, eclipse our two planned joy. Tomorrow we'll plan again. Today's already gone along with childhood back into the vaults of would-be might and when. Grey clouds, blue clouds, peach sky, willow tree and rain. Tomorrow we'll plan again.
Hey!
The afterword is at Bay, just above Wellesley, a restaurant called Vina Rosa. Last week I hung 16 paintings and 4 drawings. And if you're passing Bay near Wellesley, looking at Vina Rosa.
Vina Rosa.